Revolution. Let's all stand together and do some singing. Come on. Yeah.
Treasures that fade are never enough. Then you came along and put me back together, and every desire is now satisfied here in your love.
If you know, let me hear you.
There's nothing better than you.
we doing tonight? Good. Oh, we're so good to be together. This is your first time joining us. Welcome. So glad you are here. My name is Madison. This is my friend Josh. Everyone say hi to Josh.
Hello, everybody.
Special welcome also to those of you joining us online or at Lakeville, Wyzetta, or Rochester. I wish I could see your faces. We're going to spend some time worshiping together. And if you have been coming here before, you know that we do this each and every week. And it's just a really powerful time. We just get to lift our voices together as one and give Jesus the praise that he is so worthy of. And I don't know what you walk through these doors carrying today. I know that I have stuff that I am struggling with and wrestling with. And so these songs that we're gonna sing, they have life and truth. These lyrics, there's life and there's truth in these lyrics. And so when we sing these things, we get to sing them over our circumstances, over our lives, even if it's hard for us to believe. You know, when we sing them, when we speak these words, they change things. And so we're just gonna continue to sing together. Let's just set aside any distractions that we walked in here with today. And let's continue to sing together. Here we go. a burden for too long on my own. I wasn't created to bear it alone. I hear your invitation to let it all go. Yeah, I see it now. I'm laying it down, and I know that I need you. I run to the Father, I fall into grace. I'm done with the hiding, no reason to wait. My heart needs a surgeon, my soul needs a friend. So I run to the Father again and again and again and again. Oh, 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 oh. You saw my condition, had a plan from the start. Your son for redemption, the price for my heart. And I don't have a context for that kind of love. I don't understand, I can't comprehend. All I know is I need you. I run to the Father, I fall into grace. I'm done with the hiding, no reason to wait. My heart needs a surgeon, my soul needs a friend. So I run to the Father again and again and again and again. Oh, oh, again and again and again and again. Oh, my heart has been in your sight long before my first breath. Running into your arms is running to life from death. And I feel this rush deep in my chest. Your mercy is calling out. And just as I am, you pull me in. And I know I need you now. I run to the Father, I fall into grace. I'm done with the hiding, no reason to wait. My heart needs a surgeon, my soul needs a friend. So I run to the Father again and again. I run to the Father, I fall into grace. I'm done with the hiding, no reason to wait. My heart found a surgeon, my soul found a friend. So I run to the Father again and again and again and again. Oh, oh, again and again and again and Heavenly Father, we just come before you tonight, Jesus, and we are just so grateful for who you are, Jesus, and the way that you love us. Doesn't matter where we've come from or what we've done. Jesus, you are just waiting for us to come running to you each and every day. So Lord, I just thank you for this time where we can be reminded of that, where we can be encouraged by one another. Just to continue to seek after you and pursue your heart, Lord. So Jesus, we just love you so much. And we give you the rest of our time together. And we pray all of this in your name. Amen. Hey, Rev, thanks for singing with us. You can go ahead and take a seat.
Amen. Hello, Revolution. Good to be with you. Man, I look forward to this time every week. I hope you know that. If you don't know who I am, I'm the student pastor here. My name is John, but I look forward to being with you all every week. Like a genuine excitement to come hang out with you all. You're fun, you're smart, you're wise, you're all the nice adjectives. So just know I really do enjoy this time. If you're brand new here and you're like, I don't know you, like you don't even know I'm here. I'm the guy you get to hang out with every week. So we'll get to know each other, we'll become friends. Here's what we do every week. We get to worship like we just did. Can everyone help Josh pull this away? Let's make some noise for him. Cheer him on. Look at this. Oh, hell yeah. Look at that form. Look at that pose. That's amazing. Okay, we got a great band. We also like to hang out in the lobby and have some fun before we come in here. We listen to a message that is just for high school students. So it talks about things you care about, talks about the things that are happening in your life. And then we head out to small groups. And small groups are, I think, the best part of the night. They're where you get to figure out what it actually means to follow Jesus, where you get to talk with people and be real and talk about your life and figure out all the hard parts and the good parts. And so if you're not in a small group, you have to get in one. And here's how you do it, super easy. After this is done, you just walk out to the table in the lobby. You go out either one of these doors. There's a table in the middle of the lobby, and you just say, hey, I want to join a small group. They'll take care of it from there. They'll walk you to a room. It's people your same grade, same gender. You're in. That's it. You're qualified. You're in a small group. You're going to have a great time. As easy as that. But we like to do one other thing around here. Before we hear a message, before we go out to small groups, we like to have a little bit of fun around here. And so here's how we have fun. We play a stage game. And here's a stage game tonight. Here's the stage game tonight. Is anyone a fan of Thanksgiving? That was a trick question. By raising your hand, you're in. Come on up. Yeah, who else raised their hand? Yeah, you, come on up. I need, oh, you are. Okay. Yes, no, come on up. You're in, yes. How much do you like Thanksgiving? Prove it. How do you I don't know. Good enough for me. That indifference was the perfect amount of indifference. I love it. And then who else? Well, hold up. Let me look. Who we got? Okay, yeah, you're in. You're in. You're in. My dude, you're in. Okay. Okay, here. Oh, watch the decor here, man. My goodness. If you knew what I paid for those pumpkins. I'm just joking. I found them. I stole them from outside. So, all right. Hey, here's what I need to know. Is anyone here a fan of Thanksgiving? Are you thumbs up or thumbs down? Fan of Thanksgiving? Online? Let me know. Thanks for being here online. Are you a fan of Thanksgiving? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Today, I was deeply disturbed when our teaching pastor for the middle school today, Daniel, said that Thanksgiving is just a day. Christmas is a season. Does anyone else feel deeply their soul is, no? Okay, only me. That's fine. Anyways, I think Christmas is a season, but Thanksgiving is also a season, and I'm starting it here, okay? If it starts a movement, I was the first one to do that. So here we go. Here's what I need to know. Why is Thanksgiving a movement? No, I'm joking. I'm on a rant right now, and I'm going to stop. So here's what I need to know. Your name, your grade, and what your favorite Thanksgiving food is, because we're about to sit down at a Thanksgiving feast table, and this is going to become important later. So your name, your grade, your favorite Thanksgiving food. Name. Gunner, sophomore, and stuffing. Let's make some noise for Gunner. Gunner, sophomore, stuffing. Good answers. Good answers all around. Okay. Your name, your grade, your favorite Thanksgiving food. Alexis, ninth grader, and pumpkin pie. Anyone else out there a pumpkin pie fan? Okay. Just a few, but there's the best people out there. Okay. Name, grade, Thanksgiving food. Avis, ninth grader, and pumpkin pie round 2. Okay, 2 for 2 for pumpkin pie. And last but not least, Matthew, 10th grade, and green bean casserole. And he's feeling good about that 10th grade casserole. All right. Anyone else a 10th grade or a green bean casserole fan out there? Okay, that feels like it's a real ambiguous dish to me, but I can dig it. All right, here we go. Go ahead and find a seat. Find a seat. Oh, you don't have to race, but you feel really, this marker is yours, huh? Okay. The competition has already begun. I like that. That's perfect. So here we go. Here's how the game works. There's gonna be 3 foods up on the screen. You have to secretly, don't let anyone else look. Matthew's gonna try to look, don't let him, okay? Don't let anyone else see. You have to write down one of those 3 foods. You don't wanna match with anyone else. If you match with someone else, that food is poison and you die. If you are the only one to write the food down, you get a point. So don't match with anyone else. Read the mind of the people around you and don't write what they write. Don't break your mark. We haven't even started yet. Okay, you're good. Here we go. Let's see the first one. Online, you can play too. You can't sit here at our table with us, but you can choose a food. So put a food in the comments. Turkey, corn, green beans. You gotta choose one, write one down, and then don't write the same one as someone next to you or around this table. 9 seconds. Dustin, what are you going with? Turkey, corn, or green beans? 94. Dustin's blown away by the fact they're paying $94 for corn. I think they're all $94. I don't know. I mean, corn is, okay, anyways. Let's see, what do you got for answers? Corn, she's paying $94 for corn. All right, there she is, corn. Well, show it to the audience, show it to the crowd too. We got corn, we got green beans, we got corn, poison. And then let's see, corn, Matthew, green bean casserole pays off. 1 point for Matthew, everyone else is dead from corn. All right, so let's do another one. You've all made a miraculous recovery. The corn only kept you down for a while. What do you choose now? Jam, gravy, or baked potato? Does anyone else feel like jam's not really a Thanksgiving food? Is that, anyone else feeling that? Okay, yeah. It is, Noah's feeling it is. All right, write one down, don't let anyone see. Don't let anyone see, no matter what you do. Matthew, stop giving it away with your face. Okay, here we go. What do we got? Reveal it to the crowd. We got baked potato. Jam, okay. Baked potatoes and jam. Everyone's poisoned. Oh, it's all poison, you're dead. Don't eat jam on Thanksgiving. That should have been the lesson you learned. 0 points that round. That's all right. We still got one with Matthew. Let's do the next one. Online, are you playing along? Is anyone alive or dead online? Here we go. Pizza, Brussels sprouts, or pulled pork. Pizza is what happens when your turkey goes really poorly and you're like, well, we're getting pizza for Thanksgiving. Pizza, Brussels sprouts, or pulled pork. All right, we got 10 seconds, 9, 8. Everyone got one written down? Okay, all right. Oof. Oh, okay. Let's see the grand reveal. Here we go. We got Brussels sprouts. We got pulled pork. We got pulled pork, and we got pulled pork. Pulled pork is the loser. Sorry, pulled pork was poisoned. You should have known. Never have pulled pork sandwiches at a stranger's house. That's rule number 1 that you learn here at Revolution. Okay, so we got 1 point, 1 point. Let's go to round 3. This is gonna be the tiebreaker. How much time do we have? Yeah, we'll do one more. This is the last one, unless we share a point. So grapes, fish, lasagna. Grapes, fish, lasagna. What would you do, crowd? What are you choosing? Fish, okay. What kind of fish? Salmon? Salmon, oh, good choice. All right, yeah. You're fancy, okay. All right, here we go. Everyone got an answer? Go ahead, grapes, fish, grapes, fish. Oh no, everyone's poisoned again. All right, we'll do another one. No, but this time don't write the same one as someone else. Don't do that, okay? Is it a 2-way tie? Yeah, we got one and one. All right, let's do one more. This is the tiebreaker. Unless someone else gets a point and then things are just wild. Macaroni, mashed potatoes, or marshmallows? MMM. Mac, mash, marsh. What are you going with? What about you, crowd? Mac, mash, or marsh? Marshmallows. Just a plain marshmallow? Mashed potatoes or macaroni? Or just a single marshmallow? Okay, what do we got? Marshmallows, mashed potatoes, marshmallow, macaroni. Oh, okay. That means Matthew's got 2 points. Matthew, that means you are our winner of the Thanksgiving dinner challenge. Well done. Hey, you all did a great job. You did good. Well done. You looked good at this table, by the way. This looks friendly. This looked great. So here you go. You gotta go ahead and find a seat, the 3 of you. Matthew, I've got a gift card for you. And it's got Brandon's face on it. So what else could you ever want more in life? I know, it is. Yeah, Brandon's got a great face. So way to go, Brandon. Way to have a great face. All right. So here's what we gotta do next. We gotta kick these chairs out of the way. We're gonna just slide these. And you've got one shot. And here's how one shot works. If you don't know, if you're brand new, every week we've got a rolling pot. Matthew's got one shot, a difficult shot to make himself a living legend on this campus. If he does, he gets a gift card. And if he misses, it adds $1 to that gift card every week. Adds a single dollar to the pot. I think we're up to about $29 million or something. So big win here. This is it. Matthew, your one chance. Keep holding it. Yeah. Oh, okay, fake. That was a fake. He's building the suspense, which is good. We're on the edge of our seats, Matthew. Pull it through the middle. Okay, the music is getting louder, which makes it even more intense, and I love it. Yeah, technical difficulties. This is all part of the show. Oh, the second gong. Okay. Whoa! Oh, holy cow! For just a rapid fire shot, that was a lot closer than I expected. Yeah. Technical difficulty. The instruction manual was not super clear. Here, Matthew, thank you. Well done. You still have the gift card with Brandon's face, which feels like you're a real winner because of that. So, all right. Hey, Revolution, a couple things I want to let you know. First, brace yourself for this one, but we don't have Rev next week. I'm sorry. Yeah, I know. Sorry. Take your second to cry. But we have got Thanksgiving next week. So enjoy Wednesday off. Have some time with your friends, family, whoever it is that you want to hang out with for your dinner. Be thankful. And then come back in December because we're back. So don't just like disappear forever. Come back in December, but no Thanksgiving next week. The other thing I want to celebrate with you quick is we had Rev Retreat this last weekend, and it was a blast. It was so fun. And I know not all of you went, so please don't let people who went on the retreat like dominate the time by telling stories. But we do want to celebrate what happened because there are some pretty cool things that happened on that retreat. Students encountered Jesus. We had people who gave their life to Jesus for the very first time. There were deep spiritual encounters. So if people want to share in your small group, feel free to ask them. It was a cool time. But again, that's just a moment to celebrate whether you went or not. And then again, don't let them dominate it. If they start talking about it too much, say, all right, cool. Well, let's move on to something else. So, and then last but not least, we have Festival of Festiveness coming up in like 3 weeks or 4 weeks. It's almost Christmas time here at Student Ministries. On the 15th, we've got Festival of Festiveness. Dress up, come ready to have Christmas fun, and it's just gonna be a blast. So make sure that you just don't plan anything else that day. Cancel school, cancel friendships, whatever you need to cancel. No, just show up at the festival that night. So that's all I've got, Rev. Brandon is gonna come out and teach after this video. So when he does, can you give him a huge round of applause? He had a long weekend at the Rev Retreat, so it's like still got snow and wilderness stuff in his ears. So give him a real round of applause so he can hear and make him feel welcome back. Can you do that for me? Okay, sweet. Rev, love that you guys are here. I really appreciate it. Check out this video and then welcome Brandon when he comes up.
Hey, what's up, Rev? It is so good to be with you tonight, whether you're joining us online or at one of our campuses. It is so good to be together. Man, I'm coming off of one of my favorite weekends of the entire year, Rev Retreat. If you were there at any of our campuses, can you make some noise really quick? It was such a cool time. God did so many cool things in people's lives, and it was a privilege to just watch it happen, to see it happen. And so if you were there, thank you for being there. If you weren't there, make sure you make the time to show up next year because it's truly a weekend that you cannot miss. Right now, though, tonight we are in a series. We're continuing in a series that we've called Purposeful Peace. This series is about how to go after peace in our lives and do it on purpose. And if there's one thing that I've learned about peace, it's this right here. Peace takes patience, practice, not patience. Lots of P words. Peace takes practice. And here's what I mean by that. It's not automatic. It doesn't just happen. It takes effort. It takes quality time. You have to put in effort to learn the practices of peace. And I'll be honest with you, it seems like we have to practice peace more than normal, more than usual, especially in the last couple of years. I don't know about you, but in the last 2 years, I felt more drawn to anxiety than any other time in my life. And it's seeping into kind of random parts of my life. Let me give you an example. I love sparkling water. I know that there are some people who don't, but I'm not living my life for those people, okay? I'm living my life for me, and I like sparkling water. And I specifically like this kind that comes from Target called Cranberry Citrus. It's my all-time favorite. It's delicious. And so one day I'm at work, I get a text from my wife, and she's like, hey, I'm going to the grocery store. Do you need anything? And I said, yes, sparkling water. And she said, on it. End of text conversation. She asked me what I wanted. I told her, she said she was gonna get it. But for some reason, that conversation produced inside of me an unbelievable amount of anxiety because I didn't tell her what kind of sparkling water I wanted. And I started to worry, what if she got the wrong kind? Like, what if she got the wrong kind? Kinds that I didn't want. Kinds like, for instance, what if she got this bubbly water? Have you guys seen the Michael Bublé commercials? Like, I don't know I like Michael Bublé as much as the next guy, but I don't want to drink his water. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want this. Or what if she got a LaCroix, but like one of the lame versions, like key lime? Does anyone like key lime? No, you do not, because it is gross, okay? One of the worst. Or what about this one? What about pamplemousse? Nobody even knows what a pamplemousse is. Nobody likes that one. No, you do not like it, okay? Neither do any of you, all right? Pamplemousse is not what I wanted. I wanted cranberry citrus. Or worst of all, what if she came home with Spindrift? Spindrift's got like 12 calories in it. Water is not supposed to have calories. What's she trying to do, fatten me up? It's wrong. I was very concerned. I'm embarrassed to admit that I probably spent an hour of my day stressing out about what kind of water she was going to get at the grocery store. And you might be wondering, Brandon, why didn't you just text her? Why didn't you just tell her what kind of sparkling water that you wanted? Because I was freaking out about that too, okay? I was thinking, man, what if I told her what kind I wanted, would she assume that I thought she was dumb? You know, of course she knows. Why wouldn't she just get that one? Or what if she secretly doesn't like cranberry citrus and I do, and she buys it and then she's like kind of mad at me for buying it? You know what I'm saying? I was in a very stressful place in my life on this day. So I get home, I open the refrigerator door, and there on the shelf is a beautiful new case of cranberry citrus sparkling water, and I cried a little bit, just a little tiny bit, okay? And my wife was like, why are you crying? And I was like, sparkling water, leave me alone. It was a tough day, okay? But that is the effect that anxiety can have on us. It affects us in all kinds of ways that we weren't expecting. I think a good working definition of anxiety is this: imagining the future without hope, or without cranberry citrus sparkling water. You know, like it's imagining the future, and what we see coming on the horizon, we assume that it's coming to hurt us, that it's coming to get us, that it's going to ruin our day. And according to multiple recent studies in the United States, there has been an increase in the rise of anxiety at an unprecedented rate. There was one study that was done that showed that from the years of 1999 to 2019, there was a 70% increase in the rise of prescription anti-anxiety medications in the United States. And of that 70%, 56% were young people under the age of 18. Now, let me clarify something. If you are taking anti-anxiety meds right now, that is okay, especially under the influence and supervision of a doctor. I have taken anti-anxiety meds in my life. But what those numbers tell me is that there are more people getting more stressed and anxious every day. Now, I wanna ask you a question, but I don't want you to answer it by raising your hand or anything like that. It's something that I want you to internalize and think about yourself. The question I want you to think about is this: when was the last time you felt anxious? Maybe it was yesterday. Maybe it was this morning, with your parents, at school, at practice, with your friends, with your boyfriend, with your girlfriend. Maybe it's right now, in this moment here. When was the last time that when you thought about the future, you couldn't find any hope? My guess is that if I were to ask you to raise your hands, there'd be a lot of you. And I'm also guessing that none of you want to live that way. Nobody wants to live with crushing anxiety. Nobody wants to live without hope in the future. But the problem is that very few people know how to create peace out of anxiety. Because peace takes practice. That's what I want to talk about tonight. I want to talk about how we can become the kind of people who create peace in an anxious world, and how following Jesus helps us do that. Because after all, Jesus once said this: blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. The point that Jesus is making here is that those people who create peace out in the world, they represent God. They reflect an essential characteristic of who God is. Peacemakers are a part of God's family. And so that means if you follow Jesus, if you are a Christian, being a peacemaker is in your job description. It's what we're called to do as children of God. And I believe that there are two practices that all of us can implement in order to practice peace in our culture, in our context, in our community. The first practice is this: practice hospitality. Now, let me nerd out for just like 2 minutes here, because the Greek word for hospitality is really, really beautiful. This is what it is. The Greek word is philoxenia. Philoxenia. Everyone say philoxenia. Good job, that was great. That's the only amount of school I'll do today, okay? Philoxenia is a Greek compound word, and what that means is it's two words that are smushed together to create one meaning. The first part of that word is philios, and that means friend in Greek. And the second part of that word is xenos, which means foreigner. And the idea behind hospitality is that you make a foreigner your friend. You make someone that you don't know feel like family. That's what hospitality is. That's what we're called to as children of God. And those people that we make feel like friends or family, they can include our actual families, our actual friend groups, people in our schools, but they also include people that are different from us. People with different abilities or disabilities, people who speak differently or speak different languages, people who think differently or do things differently than we would. The main point of hospitality is that it does not discriminate. It leaves room for everyone. My great-grandmother was probably the most hospitable person I've ever known. We called her Mammy. Mammy was born in the hills of Kentucky. Fun fact, she was born and she died in the same house. There's no hospital. She was born in a house and she died in that house at the age of 87 years old. And Mammy, every year for Thanksgiving, would create a Thanksgiving feast. And she's kind of the lady that you wanted to. She was this tough, loving woman. She was a strong woman. She was that kind of lady that you wanted on your side, because once she was for you, you knew that she'd never leave you. And every year for Thanksgiving, she'd create this huge feast and she would invite everybody. And when I say everybody, I do not mean everybody in her family. I mean everybody in her county, like teachers and dentists and doctors. Even the mayor of her small town was invited, okay? Neighbors, even the ones that she didn't like. Everybody was invited to come over for Thanksgiving, and everybody showed up. For 24 hours, it was like a parade of humanity through her tiny house, okay? Everyone was coming, bringing their own food, eating food, telling stories, saying thank you, leaving and coming and leaving and coming over and over again all day long on Thanksgiving. So one day I asked Mammy, why do you do this? This is chaos. Why do you bring so many people over to your house every year? She had a very simple answer. She said, taking care of people is what makes us human. Taking care of people is what makes us human. It's why we live, to take care of one another. And you know what? She took care of people until the day that she died. And since her death, every year, everyone in her county still gets together for Thanksgiving in her memory. They still get together because of what she created. Her act of hospitality created a culture of people taking care of each other. And that has always stood out as a picture and a reminder of what peace looks like in practice. Hospitality is the open door to peacemaking. And it all comes down to our willingness to take care of other people. And this is really essential because we live in a time where it's more popular to figure out if we agree with someone before we take care of someone. Like before we're willing to take care of someone, we have to figure out, do we align politically? Do we align on cultural issues? Do we cheer for the Vikings or for the Packers? You know what I mean? Like we've got to figure these things out before we can share a meal. But that is not the way of a peacemaker. A peacemaker makes room for everyone. You don't start to take care of people once you agree with them. That would be like making a meal, inviting all your friends over. But before anyone could eat, you made them take a pop quiz on your personal preferences. That would be both cruel and weird. You don't do that. The point is that we are supposed to live differently, that we as peacemakers are supposed to do things differently. We are meant to make foreigners feel like friends. People that are different from us feel like family. And in the book of Exodus, the second book of the Bible, God commands his people to show this kind of hospitality. He said this. He said, do not mistreat or oppress a foreigner, someone different from you, for you were foreigners in Egypt. This is God's way of saying, you are no better than anyone else, so don't act like it. One of the biggest causes of fear or anxiety or stress in people is that feeling of not belonging, that feeling of not fitting in, that feeling of not being welcomed. This is why peace practices hospitality. It makes room for people whether we agree with them or not, because taking care of people is what makes us human. It reminds us that once we were separated from God, but because he loved us, he made room for us and gave us a new life in and through Jesus. And now we do for others what God has done for us. So what would hospitality look like for you as a high school student? You might not have everything ready to make a feast every Thanksgiving, but what you do have is a lunchroom. Most of you go to a school with a lunchroom. And the lunchroom is one of the most isolated places at school during the day, because everyone's kind of got their group. A lot of people have people to sit with, but there are some people, maybe they're sitting with others, but they know and everyone else knows that they don't fit in. They know and everyone else knows that they're not welcomed, that they don't really belong. And that's where your job as a peacemaker kicks in. Because what if you made room for them at your table? What if you invited them to sit with you? What if you started taking care of people in your lunchrooms and creating a culture of hospitality for the sake of peace? Taking ownership over that time is what peacemakers do. Creating peace by showing hospitality to those who feel left out. That's practice number one. The second practice of peace is this: to practice humility. Practicing humility. Becoming a peacemaker almost requires humility, because creating peace cannot come from a selfish place. When we're too consumed with ourselves or our image, our perspectives, or our perceptions, we tend to crowd other people out. So the practice of humility, putting ourselves second in order to put someone else first, is a necessary practice in making peace. In the book of Ephesians, which is in the Bible, it was written by a guy named Paul, and he basically commands humility for the sake of peace. He says this. He says, be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love. Make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. Paul requires complete humility. There is no wiggle room there. The point that Paul is making is that without humble people, there's nothing that holds peace together. And if you're wondering what humility is having a healthy self-understanding. Humility is having a healthy self-understanding. This means that you don't think that you are too important and you don't believe that you are unimportant. It's the skill of acting like no one is better than you and that you are better than no one else. And when you practice this skill, the easier it becomes to create peace and the more difficult it becomes to live offended. And if I believe that there is one major obstacle in our day and age to living humbly, it's living offended, because it feels like people are offended like all the time right now about all kinds of things. It's like there's this simmering anger in people that's just waiting to be poked. And once you poke it, it wakes up and devours everything around it. But that is not the way of a peacemaker. We're not meant to live like that. We're meant to live with a healthy self-understanding that is not so easily knocked down by someone else's opinion of us. We are meant to be gentle and patient. Our humility is meant to influence our sense of peace. Some of the greatest peacemakers of all time were also the most humble. And one of them I'm sure you've heard of. She lived in the hills of Calcutta as a nun, and her name was Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa lived the majority of her life serving the diseased and dying in one of the most underserved communities in the world. A regular day for Mother Teresa would begin by her leaving her community to walk the streets around her, listening for the screams of homeless people who were dying from disease. And she would locate them, she would find them, and she would bring them back to her care facility. And there she would take care of them in order to give them what she called a dignified death. She gave them every comfort possible so that they could pass into the arms of Christ in comfort and in peace. And for her effort, she was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1979. Now, if you don't know what that is, it's a very prestigious award. And it's given to only one person every year. And it comes with a large sum of money. And the whole world takes notice of who receives this prize every year. It's a very big deal. And of course, whenever they award someone with this, there's a big reception and all the Nobel laureates come together and they kind of make speeches and make a big deal out of this award. And when it's time for Mother Teresa to be invited for her kind of procession of award ceremonies, she declined. And when she was asked why she wasn't going to make it, she simply said, "I'm no one special, and the people here need me." And that was it. She didn't show up. When she eventually received her cash prize from the Nobel Peace Prize, she immediately gave it over back to her mission and ministry in supporting people, creating peace. Now that's a really extreme story of humility, but what it should do is it should put a check in our spirit. When was the last time? When was the last time that we did something that went without recognition? When was the last time you worked for someone else's good and didn't look for a pat on the back? It was just the right thing to do. When was the last time you didn't think too highly of yourself because you were thinking about the people around you? When was the last time that you weren't living for someone else's approval? You were just living for God's approval. That's what Mother Teresa's story inspires in me, because I certainly don't have this figured out yet. I'm not the most humble person. I'm not the most hospitable person. But I want to be a peacemaker in this world of anxiety. I want to live like Jesus. I want to do something different. It's a challenge to live humbly in the service of others because it's better than living for anyone else's approval. So what would humility look like for you? It probably isn't hopping on a plane to go live in Calcutta to take care of everyone there. That's probably not your next step. Your next step is probably where you live, serving the people around you, helping out with chores around the house, doing something your parents asked just because they asked it, doing something kind and thoughtful for your sibling. Maybe it's getting in touch with your community, learning about local homeless shelters or Salvation Army to see how you can help, pitch in, contribute to where you live. This is a great time of year to connect with your student pastor, your campus pastor, to see how our partnerships and what our church partnerships are doing and how you can be involved, connecting yourself to something bigger than yourself without posting about it on Instagram, without looking for recognition from anybody. Searching out ways to live humbly in the service of peace in the world. Humility will take practice. It's not easy to stop thinking about ourselves, to start thinking about someone else. But that's the work of a peacemaker. That's what we do. And my prayer is that may we become the kind of people who practice humility for the sake of peace, who enter into a world of anxiety and fight for continued peace. May we be an answer of hope for those who look to the future and need good news. Peace takes practice, but the more we practice it, the more we will claim our birthright as children of God. And so, Rev, in just a moment, I'm gonna dismiss you into your small groups, and I'm gonna challenge you to scheme about ways to bring about peace into a world that's filled with anxiety. Scheme for ways to contribute peace where people might feel anxious. Make a plan, make a peace plan as a group to figure out how you're gonna pursue and create peace at your school, in your community, in your context this coming week. That's my challenge for you. May we become peacemakers because we are the children of God. Let's pray together, Rev. Heavenly Father, thank you for calling us your children. Thank you for giving us the job of peacemaking. Although it's not easy, I believe that it's worthy. It's worthy of a life well lived. So God, would you challenge us to go outside of our comfort zone maybe a little bit, to seek out peace in a world that's anxious. May we bring your answer and your good news for those who are looking for hope in the future. And God, I pray for the next generation that these young people that are under the sound of my voice across the Twin Cities would take this personally, that they would fight for peace in their schools, that they would search for peace in their communities, that they would be a representative of peace in their homes, that it would start with them, and that we would look to them as leaders, as peacemakers. God, would you rise us up to do something different in the world? We trust you and we love you in Jesus' name, amen. Rev, love you a lot. See you in 2 weeks. Peace.